Hey guys, Kevin Cage back with another cryptocurrency update. Let's get right into it today. So we can see that Brad Garlinghouse has announced this Ripple GateHub. A few groups actually have announced this joining, again, PayID for this open payments network coalition. As we can see, many groups are teaming up because they do fear groups like Alipay, Facebook taking over with their own closed network. So obviously open networks are the future. We'll kind of dig into this briefly. I'm not going to read the article like last video, and we will kick things off. So Brad Garlinghouse, sending a payment should be as easy as email, no matter where you are, what currency you're using, or who you want to pay. It's that simple. So as we can see, Ripple, together with over 40 global companies and nonprofits, Ripple joins the Open Payments Coalition to help drive innovation forward and simplify global payments for all. Discover the coalition's PayID, an exciting step for global interoperability. Just to breeze through here, why Ripple supports PayID. A few quotes I like. In this always-on world where everyone carries a computer in their pocket, why is it easier to send a picture of a $5 bill than it is to actually send $5 in terms of value? Makes you think. All right, another quote I did like, imagine how limited SMS, again for kind of texting, would be if messages wouldn't be sent between the different mobile providers. If you had AT&T, you would not be able to communicate with people with Verizon. There's no interoperability. Could you imagine how on earth would the world function in terms of telecommunications or even different applications, such as, notice that I'm sure a lot of people have, apps like TikTok and Facebook. Imagine if you couldn't send any links to other groups and kind of had closed silos within that. Luckily, with YouTube videos, we can copy the link and send it to them via Facebook Messenger, Snapchat, texting, etc. All right. Notice interoperability, bridging these types of networks together. And again, they grow together and have those network effects and compound further. So we would all send a lot fewer text messages and be less connected to our friends and family. What you have to understand is this is how the interbank transfers are today between countries, between, correspondence as well. All right. And then right here, tomorrow's payment network will be open, and PayID kind of released the same exact article as well. Again, Ethan Beard wrote this up, so it's a really good write-up. So in the near future, a single global payment network will enable anyone to easily pay any person or business instantly. Guys, this is zero doubt. Like, they're speaking with, certainty here. And I think it's quite evident where this is all going. Now, Ripple will be, and it already is, a key player in this ecosystem. Yes, I'm aware. And yes, I'm frustrated some days that XRP is still 20 cents. But what you have to understand is fundamentally, there's nothing to worry about. All right. And again, not financial advice. If you guys see other assets or want to chase them, do it. I'm just simply sharing you the news. Why fundamentally, the crypto asset space is nascent and has tons of upside. We'll kind of go through a few of these huge groups as well. So again, good thing is now RippleNet, they're integrating PayID to bring further interoperability into cross-border payments as well. Now, the groups that are involved in this also have other verticals and vectors. Let's take a quick look. So who uses PayID? Companies that use them and support bringing this vision to life, and we'll just kind of speed through this. So we have Bitso, again, huge Ripple partner, again, exchange. We have Bitstamp running one of Ripple's first gateways back in the day. We have Brave browser, which we're using right now. Blockchain.com, we've already tied them with Ripple. We got BRD, the Bread Wallet, all of those groups highly connected with SBI. SBI is one of the biggest shareholders of Ripple and R3. And again, R3 is where my eyes are. I know some of you think that's way too good to be true. I just think that these payment solutions are the future, and crypto assets, permissionless and permissioned, will be a part of this future. All right. So Care as well, and they've all announced. So Care, GitHub, all of these groups have even gone on Twitter and announced this. So it seems like it was all planned to go live and kind of announce this announcement to the public today on the 18th. All right. We have CoinsPH, again, Philippines. Dwala, now they're not utilizing XRP unfortunately, but they are teamed up with Ripple as well. Flutterwave, we've seen documentation, them connected with many groups utilizing RippleNet, specifically through Africa as well. You can just keep going and see connections between all of these guys. Coil.com, BTC Markets, we've heard the CEO talking, highly of XRP specifically. We have exchanges like Bitrue, which is again utilizing XRP as some of the most XRP pairs. Now, get it. I get it. Exchanges are just one little part of this ecosystem. But as you can see, GateHub, Forte, with Spring, that $500 million investment, $100 million investment, all these things for game developers. We have FlashFX and smart contracts, Dharma. Even Mercury FX, one of the first XRapid, now on-demand liquidity users. Granted, it was relatively low, but these are some of the first groups that used XRP in payment flows in the world. So Global ID, remember, tied to Greg Kidd as well. Do not sleep on this. He was one of the original guys that joined Ripple early on. Again, I believe many channels have talked about him extensively. Digital Asset Investor had a great interview with this guy. Keep in mind, I mean, besides being early investors with Twitter and Square, I believe he was roommates with the CEO of Twitter back in the day, Jack Dorsey. He was also not only the chief risk officer at Ripple and holds 1% of the supply of XRP and believes it's going to be huge. He said he was playing cards, and per the interview, and I might butcher this, so go check it out yourself. He said when he was playing cards and he heard about the concept of XRP freeing these, pre-funded accounts, it was like Moses parting the seas. That spoke to me. For example, this guy, a huge VC, he's accomplished a lot, and just keep in mind, thanks to him, Ripple, $10 billion valued company out of Silicon, this unicorn, met with the Federal Reserve within like a month or two of starting. That does not happen with many private companies, people, right? So right here also, and as a regulator and consultant, senior analyst at the Federal Reserve Board. Guys, just understand there's a lot to go here. Global ID will also be a huge part. I don't really get into it too much because there's so many things happening in this space. Maybe I don't do a good job of going over this information. That's fine. Find, a channel you like, or do your own research. I'm just saying for, some people that maybe are driving to work or commuting, I definitely prefer to kind of get an update or news update with news. Like to hear people just, spit their thoughts, and it helps me develop my own ideas. I don't want you guys to agree with everything I say. I want you to be able to develop your own ideas. You can say, hey, I agree with you here, Kevin, but no, you're completely wrong, or maybe, or this. And I just want you guys to do your own research, question everything. Obviously, I'm a bull, but I can assure you, I've done my own research. There's a method to the madness here. So we'll keep going really quick. Even Zum, Uphold, which is awesome. And now they have a payment pointer for, guess what? Interledger Protocol, and also Signum Bank. Remember all these things with custodying XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin, you name it. It is simply the future. And look at the behemoth right here that was secretly there. PolySign. Guys, PolySign and standard custody. Mark my words. And potentially even utilizing Codius. It's just remember, there's been, thousands of us that are being able to see this. Bitcoin created nearly 18,000 millionaires. I think that's chump change, and that wasn't even solving a problem. That's just a store of value that still fluctuates greatly. It's simply a matter of time, and we are approaching one of the biggest transfers of wealth. If you want to ask me my opinion, and many other people think this, it's not just me guessing and speculating. I do think that there may be another, stock market crash, just like some people have been predicting. I thought that was it in March, honestly, but now I'm hearing a lot more, different thoughts from people with QE, because it can't go on forever. You cannot just keep printing this money. Eventually, we are going towards something. Now, remember, even in 2018, we said, there could be a financial reset. There could be some type of metal, USD back, gold standard once again. And I get it. That's tinfoil hats. Some of you conservative people, hate that kind of talk. Well, it's interesting though, because now the World Economic Forum, the 1% of the 1% that basically work on monetary policy, green energy, advocating all these changes, are now calling the theme the Great Reset. Things that make you go, All right, so PolySign, obviously, custody, storage, security will be a huge point in the future. All right, and now right here, I like this. So PayID brings together companies, this is on Business Wire, companies across all industries with an open solutions for payments, marrying traditional finance and the new world of financial technology under one standard. Again, it's unlikely that all these industries are just going to choose a single protocol or, things of that nature. So they're just trying to standardize it as much as possible and get people to work together in a global vision. I feel like I butchered that sentence, but anyways, more than 40 global companies and nonprofits reaching more than 100 million consumers worldwide have joined the Open Payment Network, or this Open Payments Coalition, to break down the proprietary silos, again, these walled gardens, these private networks that have no interoperability and cannot communicate effectively to each other, and standards that exist within payments. Now, they exist in a lot of things, but unfortunately, value in the payments industry and fintech has been one of the last ones to move. So now we are approaching the Internet of Value, and hopefully we'll be able to approach also, the Internet of Things, all of that as well. So accelerating adoption of digital payments, change the way money is sent around the world today. And guys, public and private sectors will be teaming up. We know the central banks are huge, we got public entities, but these private fintechs that are well funded, have a little more flexibility, are not as big and archaic, and have all that legacy infrastructure, can help them make this change. And it will be good for both eventually. All right, let's keep going. So again, global ID is well mentioned if I've already said that with Greg Kidd. All right. PayID is the universal payment identifier. PayID creates a common protocol that allows for interoperability between these payment networks. Really cool. And it does remind me of, some of the ISO messaging standards for Swift, ISO 20022, or even Interledger. And funny enough, I think I want to show you this. Let me find it. So notice here, GateHub talking about the PayID solution. We have care.org talking about the payment ID solution. Pretty comical, guys. Sending care back to your Father's Day. Read about care fighting global poverty by empowering women and girls. Right? Really interesting that they're all kind of rolling this out together. I had to find it. Let me see where I'm at. Well, anyways, I saw I Am Legion and some other people showing, obviously the symbol for Interledger Protocol and also the symbol for the ISO 20022. It's relatively the same symbol for obviously standard interoperability. Now, obviously, Interledger is bridging these ledgers, but the cool thing, and it's a protocol, but ISO is more so just for the messaging standards and accurate information. Nonetheless, it's really cool, and it makes me think of Graham Bright of EuroXM Bank, again, another RippleNet partner, talking about Ripple messages. Now, this doesn't have to do with XRP, but it really helps win business long term, especially if everything is RippleNet. You understand the global payment steering group is massive. I mean, we have former president of the DTCC running this group. There are no coincidences in this game, folks. You can really kind of see where this is all going. All right, so even Matthew Liny sharing this, and this was on, and I just like this on fortune.com. So it's essentially the same read, but this is what I was referencing. So Ethan Beard, though believes payment providers like Square or Venmo may actually come to embrace PayID on the basis of a different competitive calculation, namely that doing so could be a hedge against Libra, Facebook's ambitious plan to create a new global currency platform. We've done a bunch of videos on Libra, guys. Nothing more than a permission database with fancy IOUs, not even fancy, and it's masquerading as blockchain technology. And also, Facebook and Chinese payments giant Alipay. Keep in mind, Ripple is already indirectly connected with them with many partners, thanks to groups like dLocal, dLocale. They want to create closed proprietary networks. And yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if these groups do so, but at the end of the day, the one that will win this whole race is going to be based on open networks, a level playing field, and only the most efficient digital asset will transfer this value. Now, King Solomon, guys, if you know that researcher, community, he's back to making YouTube videos. Check out his channel. He said something in his recent video, and he's been gone for a few months. He said, what did he say? Using DLT to transfer value without a digital asset is like trying to drive a car without gasoline, right? Whether it's the fuel of the network, whether it's digital assets or XRP, creating a finite amount of the network to prevent spam and actually kind of create cost of ownership to join the network. There's all kinds of things. And yes, digital assets for at least bridging value with some networks, they are absolutely necessary. And XRP is one of those examples. All right. Even someone as big as PayPal should be weary, very tomato. And also says common sense argues in favor of a universal payment ID system. Points out that technology like email and text message don't restrict users to a particular company. Argues that payments should be no different. Now, just like texting, we have all kinds of applications that businesses use. They can text you reminders of things or dentist appointments in offices, communication, you name it. You can even say the same thing with email and email marketing. Can you even fathom what kind of business applications are going to be built in tandem with these fintechs, with the capabilities of smart contracts, lowering the cost of entry, almost decentralized models for new businesses such as Airbnb, even Facebook Marketplace? They don't own the products, but they just have the marketplace like eBay or even Uber. These types of decentralized like models for businesses, man, I am very excited to see where this all goes in the near future. All right, so GateHub talking, many groups coming here, right? And right here, we have Arturo Portillas. So talking about this, guys, so the checks amendment is officially live now. Looking forward to testing all these cool features. You can see on XRP scan as well. So guys, the checks amendment, it is not FUD. This is good news because now when someone's paying you, and I think Jungle Inc. or somebody made a good point. For example, if you were a politician running for office and someone wanted to send you a donation, they wanted to send you $100 million donation, which is extremely sketchy, and it would look really weird if you accepted this type of donation. The checks amendment allows you to either deny it altogether, take in parts, and it's all just kind of transparent and keeps track of it. So this is kind of a really cool application for the future of, obviously, value transfer. So spring, even the initiative checks amendment just went live on the XRP ledger. Very, very cool. And this is actually native. So we have Vita Vind actually explaining this right now. It's a new on-ledger transaction type. Other chains would require smart contracts for this. On the XRP ledger, it's now native. It's like real life checks, but on ledger. For example, I write a check to you for max 100 XRP. You can cash that check fully or partially at some point. Very, very cool. And notice, you can even create a check with expiration, but that's not mandatory. These applications are very exciting, guys. We're taking everything and essentially, just like I read in that article, marrying traditional finance with the new digital asset industry. So again, simply a matter of time. And then one last thing I just wanted to emphasize with BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, guys, remember, this is an older article, by the way, but it just reminded me of something. They're getting delayed. There's more to this than we're all, thinking, guys. Just understand, are they waiting for some type of international rollout? Are they in communication with these huge countries? Because obviously, they're all just a super organism. The economy fuels itself. We all need, obviously, liquidity and oil, lubricant to move this value around. And eventually, people will be making this change. And one of the craziest things is the World Economic Forum is actually saying the Great Reset. And they're talking about us finally coming together, creating a level playing field, financial inclusion, equality, and focusing on distributed ledger technology, guys. There's so much going on. I'm really excited. I do not know exactly how or when this is going to play out exactly, but I do believe that we are in the right space at the right time, and it is simply a matter of time. So with that, guys, I appreciate it. Shout out to my top channel members, JCR Central, Jamie XRP, Crypto Beginner, Philip Price, Ken Melendez, XRP Holder 4, and XRP Blast. Appreciate all of you that like and share this video around. Until next time.